Our next guest is DA Warren Montgomery. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. So tell me what you've been up to, and then we'll figure out what we're going to talk about this morning. How have you been?
I've been doing very well. I've been working hard. You would think that things would have slowed down with all this coronavirus, but I am as busy as I've ever been, maybe more busy.
All right. Well, I guess crime doesn't slow down in some respects, I guess. I've heard that somewhere. All right. So what do you want to talk about today? I know that you usually come with a topic in hand, and I know that law enforcement is a big part of the partnership, a big partnership with who you are and what you do. And I think you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, of course, I'm happy to talk about anything that you would like or your listeners would like to visit about. But I did today particularly want to emphasize my appreciation, and not just my appreciation, but my office's appreciation and the public's appreciation for the hard work, the service, the sacrifices that people in law enforcement, those people who put on a uniform and a badge, and to protect and serve our community. They do it every day, responding to, violence, floods, all sorts of unknown circumstances, and I don't think that we give them enough thanks. And so I want to encourage our people, your listeners, that if you see a law enforcement officer or a family member of a law enforcement officer, thank them. Thank them for what they do. Let them know that they're appreciated. They've been given a lot of grief and a lot of unjust criticism over the last couple of months, and I think that they're due for a little thanks and a little appreciation. And so that's what I wanted to visit with about.
So tell me this, because my impression is of what you do, and I'm certainly not an attorney, but you couldn't do your job without the job that clearly that law enforcement does. Yeah,
absolutely. No, I couldn't do it. I rely on people in law enforcement in order for me to bring justice in our courts, and not just justice for the victims, but justice for the accused. But I rely on them. And I can tell you from my experience, and I've been on both sides of the aisle, so to speak. I've practiced criminal defense law, and I've been a prosecutor. And I've tried cases, both as a prosecutor and as a criminal defense attorney, representing people accused of very serious crimes on both sides. And, law enforcement personnel are some of the most reliable, diligent, professional individuals that I have dealt with. And so I rely on them to prosecute cases, but more than that, as citizens, we rely on them to make sure that, that the innocent are protected, and that those who are at the wrong place or the wrong time aren't wrongfully swept up into the criminal justice system. And we need to thank them. They've been really attacked, I think, and many unfairly because of a couple of instances in other jurisdictions. Not here where we live, but in other places. And I am so appreciative of the work they do. And, of course, I rely on them. I rely on them to protect the public. And I just think we need to thank them. And I want to encourage your listeners to pick up the phone today and call your local police officer. Or if you see someone or someone who's married. Now, that's the other thing. The spouses of these police officers, they suffer. They have a tough time because that police officer's out there fighting difficult situations all day long, comes home, and that spouse encourages them and comforts them and takes care of them, and they need a little appreciation and thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to play some Lake Loot. The DA is going to help. I'll ask the question next. All right, well, back with the DA. We're talking to Warren Montgomery this morning, and he wanted to focus on law enforcement. So before we had to go, I wanted to give you a second more to just talk about that. We've talked about the fact that they're very important to what you do. Anything else you wanted to share as far as that goes?
No, I just, as human beings, most of us, and we really need to believe this because it's the truth, most of us are doing the best we can every day. And some of us have more difficult jobs than others, and I don't want to single out necessarily any group is working harder than others. But when I look back over the recent past, over the last couple of months, I think of all the good people who I work with in law enforcement, who put their lives on the line, who sacrifice for us, who really care about what they're doing and put their whole heart into the job. And they're not doing it because they're going to retire as millionaires. They're doing it because they like to help people. And all of us like to be thanked and to be recognized. And I try to do that with the people I work with. And since I work with law enforcement, I want to thank and recognize people in law enforcement. And I want to encourage the public to thank them and to recognize them and show their appreciation for the people in law enforcement. And it's just as simple as calling the police station and thanking them over the phone, or stopping by, or just if you see a police officer, say, thank you for the job you do. I appreciate you. And you will make their day, and that'll make our community better.
All right, as always, good stuff from the DA, Warren Montgomery. We appreciate your time today and your service, and I hope that you have a great day.
Thank you, Charles. You as well, and to all your listeners.
All right, that's the DA, Warren Montgomery. Traffic's coming up next.